Congrats. I would like to introduce our next speaker. Next speaker is Dr. Nazir Ahmad. Nazir Ahmad has a PhD in Material Science from University of Birmingham, England. After fellowship at MIT, he worked for IBM National Semiconductor and several other Silicon Valley companies engaged in semiconductors, energy storage, and also solar technologies. He currently works for Jadid, a contractor manufacturer in San Jose. Dr. Ahmad has been interested in Iqbal's poetry since his high school. His long-term focus has been the integration of science, physics, cosmology with religious thoughts and making of human personality. Please join me to welcome our next speaker, Dr. Nazir Ahmad.
Assalamu alaikum. You know, this is a tradition to when Qawwali starts in Pakistan, they first say Hamad, then they say Naat, and then the Qawwali goes on. So I will do that. I will use Iqbal's poetry for that purpose. All his poetry basically tells us to go and do something, action of a certain kind, virtuous action. And then he has some favorite topics, and these include ilm, aql, and ishq. And you might know they all start with alphabet, letter N, and where they fall in the scheme of life and things and Iqbal's thought. Some comments on the Khudi because this is his favorite philosophy, and then how he parted from us. And this is in Persian, and I will try to translate it. When you translate, you actually take away the essence of the meaning and the beauty of the poetry and everything. There is actually very little left when you do the translation. Maho sitara misale sharara yak do nafas. You know, when did he say that? In 1920 time. And this is what is the known physics of today. Before that, the Newtonian physics never appreciated that these things will perish or will not exist. Right? They thought that the universe was here forever and this was going to stay. It has been there forever, and this was the understanding. Maho sitara misale sharara yak do nafas. Maye khudi ka abad tak zarur rehta. Farishta maut ka chuta hai go badan tera. Tere wujud ke markaz se dur rehta hai. Listen to this. Advice. And the title of this poem is called Nasihat. He says, Bachcha-e Shahi se kehta tha uqabe saal khurda. I will translate later. Bachcha-e Shahi se kehta tha uqabe saal khurda. Ae tere shehbar pe aasan rafat-e charkhe bani. Hai shabab apne lahu ki aag mein jalne ka naam. Sakht koshi se hai talkhe zindagani angmi. जो कबूतर पर झपटने में मजा है ए पिसर, वो मजा शायद कबूतर के लहू में भी नहीं. You see, whatever the purpose of life is struggle, it is not the end results. It is to strive, perseverance. This is really the essence of life, with patience. And if you look at the life of the Prophet, the writing in the Quran, the life of other prophets, it is exactly the same message. So by translating it, the big eagle is telling his kid, the little eagle, let the heights of the heavens be easy on your wings. Hai shabab apne lahu ki aag mein jalne ka naam. Youth is burning in the fire of your own blood. Sakht koshi se hai talkhe zindagani angmi. With the struggle and hard work, the bitterness of life becomes sweet. जो कबूतर पर झपटने में मजा है ए बिसर. Oh my son, the charm which is in snapping at the pigeon, वो मजा शायद कबूतर के लहू में भी नहीं. It is not in the drinking of its blood. One of his famous books is Bale Jabreel, and he actually starts it with this. Look at the action part. It's the amal part. उठ के खुर्शीद का सामान सफर ताज़ा करें. Nafse sokhtae sham sahar taza kare. Let us get up and refresh the khushid ka samane safar. The refresh the baggage of the sun. If I am literally translating it, nafse sokhtae sham sahar. The nafs, our personality, which has been, kind of smothered by the Sham o Sahar, the day and night, let's refresh it. Then another place he says, यकीन पैदा करे नादां यकीन से हाथ आती है वो दरवेशी के जिसके सामने झुकती है फखफूरी. Fukfurs are the big kings of China. पैदा कर, have faith to the degree, right? A kind of, like independence from everything else, that even the kings will, like submit to you. Lot of poetry about the action, but then that, as I said, this is amal and it starts with the letter ayn, right? I want to share a little story that I read about Tagore. People told Allama Iqbal that Tagore got Nobel Prize and what about you? He said, Tagore, he acts and he is very active, but he preaches inaction. Iqbal preaches action, but he doesn't act. Three more, important words which Iqbal's favorite topic, and they start with the letter ayn, and these are, ilm, aql, and ishq. And you have to really understand where they stand and what do they mean. This is biased, my own interpretation. So, there is no escape from it. Everybody can have their point of view. That's the generosity of Iqbal, or at least the, the meaning of thing. So, ilm is knowledge. When you go to school, you learn it. You just read books, or somebody teaches you something. That's what it is. Now, if his view is this, जिंदगी कुछ और शय है, इल्म है कुछ और शय. जिंदगी सोजे जिगर है, इल्म है सोजे दिमाग. इल्म में दौलत भी है, इज्जत भी है, शोहरत भी है. एक मुश्किल है कि हाथ आता नहीं अपना सुराग. जिंदगी कुछ और शय है, इल्म है कुछ और शय. Zindagi is something, life is something else, and ilm is something else, knowledge. Zindagi soze jigar hai, life is burning of the heart. Ilm is soze damag, that is the burning of the brain. Ilm mein daulat bhi hai, you have wealth in it, in ilm. Izzat bhi hai, you have respect in there. Shohrat bhi hai, you become famous. But there is one difficulty. Ek mushkil hai ki haath aata nahi apna surag, that you cannot know anything about yourself. This is the problem. For Iqbal, it is a problem. And this really is a problem. Think about this. इसीलिए सैयद साहब read this beautiful verse. अपने मन में सुराग से, अपने मन में डूब कर पा जा सुरागे जिंदगी. तू अगर मेरा नहीं बनता न बन, अपना तो बन. ये अपना बनना is basically the development of selfhood or khudi. In the Iqbal's point of view. So then look at aql. You get ilm and then you develop aql, intellect. For all the logic and reasoning that we use in our studies and in our work and everything is basically aql, right? And that is also not very appealing to Iqbal. And look at what he says. Aql chalak hai, so base badal leti hai. Aql chalak hai, सौ बेस बदल देती है. इश्क बेचारा न ज़ाहिद है न मुल्ला न हकीम. Ishq does not change its pattern or colors or anything. This is the only stable thing which is actually in the human personality. It is clever, it is cunning. So base badal leti hai. If you listen to the politicians, you're talking about, whichever way you want to listen to them, whatever the circumstances are, they will say things. This is what it means. Ishq does not play politics, it doesn't play games, it doesn't speak untruth. It always talks the truth, and when you talk the truth, there is no base badalna, then it is really only one thing. Comparison between aql and ishq, right? So it is, aql and ilm are not going to set you free, you should say. By freedom which is, in Iqbal's point of view, he says, Gulami kya hai? Zauq-e husn o zebai se mehrumi. Jise zeba kahe azad bande hai wahi zeba. Bharosa kar nahi sakte gulamo ki basirat par कि दुनिया में फकत मर्दान हुर की आंख है बीना. So the bande, the people who are Free are the people who believe in only God. That's it. The whole issue ends over there. And then they live their life. And you look at the life of the Prophet. That's how it basically is. And then Ishq stands for love. That's the kind of approximate translation. Hikmat, not intellect. Wisdom. Hikmat belongs to the domain of Ishq. It does not belong to the domain of ilm or aql. Hikmat. How does hikmat display itself? I just had a recent experience, just listening to when the solar eclipse took place, right? People were explaining, don't look at the solar eclipse because it's going to ruin your eyes and all this kind of rational and reasoning. Why shouldn't you do those things? Correct? You heard that. And what was the Islam's way of saying it? Prophet said, solar eclipse happened, just get inside and do two nafil prayer. He did not explain the reason, ilm and aql part, the rational of it. This is hikmat. It does not require rational and logic and reason. That's what my understanding is. And if you look at the Quran, it basically tells you about this. So long topic, some other time on this one. And Vajdan, the where does ishq, what is like intellect, aql related, and ishq related is intuition. You really grasp things without going through the rational and the logic of understanding. And you will see how it basically works and how did it, Iqbal expresses it. Listen to this beautiful verse. ये फैज़ाने नज़र था, ये फैज़ाने नज़र था, या के मकतब की करामत थी. ये फैज़ाने नज़र था, या के मकतब की करामत थी. सिखाए किसने इस्माइल को आदाब फरज़ंद. You think we will go to school to learn things? I am the first, don't misunderstand me. I am not saying that don't go to school and don't learn those things. For living in the world which came about for us to live in after the Big Bang, you have to learn that ilm, you have to learn all that aql, and you have to be good at it better than everybody else so that you can cope with this temporal part of our existence. It is very, very important. If you have no respect here, perhaps you cannot even pay any attention to the ishq side of things, or the faith side, or the spiritual side of the things. So by my, trying to decipher these things, don't misinterpret it that the other thing is unimportant. It is important to take care of this certain aspect, and the other thing is important to take care of the real aspect. ये फैज़ाने नज़र था या कि मकतब की करामत थी, सिखाए किसने इस्माइल को आदाब फरज़ंद दी. What was it in the looks or the persuasion of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to his son, that when he said that I am asked to sacrifice you, and he said yes, whatever you have been asked, right? Then look at the other expressions of the status of ishq. बेखदर कूद पड़ा आतिशे नमरूद में इश्क. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam jumped into the fire. बेखदर कूद पड़ा आतिशे नमरूद में इश्क. अक्ल है महवे तमाशाए लबेमान की. The intellect is still trying to figure out what is the whole deal about, right? Alright? And बेखदर कूद पड़ा, and he jumped into the fire without any consideration. इश्क फरमूदा ए कासद से सुबह गामे अमल. The messenger comes and gives a message, and the ishq starts action without any question. Ishq farmuda e qasad se subak game amal, akal samjhi hi nahi mani paygam. The intellect has not yet understood the meaning, and ishq has gotten the meaning intuitively and started action. Is not that how the lives of the prophets were? Is it not the way how the lives of anybody who really contributes in their life works? When you start calculating, then you are in trouble. Look at the politicians. They are calculating. You can listen to their conversation. And look at that. पुख्ता होती है अगर मसलहत अंदेश हो अक्ल. The intellect becomes mature when it can see its profit and loss. मसलहत अंदेश, right? इश्क हो अगर मसलहत अंदेश तो है खामोगी. If the love, faith starts seeing, the truth starts seeing the profit and loss, then it is in trouble. It is not mature enough. Right? So this is all the, 4 lines in Iqbal's poetry. All the poetry is full of these different dialogues between these ilm, aql, ishq, beautiful. I mean, if sometimes we have time, we can share that. Now, I want to say a couple of things about Iqbal's and his grasp of science. How many people know theory of relativity today, living in this time and age, about nearly, 75 years after Einstein? I mean, I'm a scientist myself, right? I have not much understanding of that. But look at Iqbal's understanding. Iqbal died in 1938. In 1929, up to 1929, there was a static universe. There was space, static. There was a sun in it. There was moon in it, earth in it, moon in it, and all these things. People saw those things, and they say this has been there forever, and it's going to stay there forever, and no changing, nothing happening. So in 1929, Edmund Hubble basically found out that the universe is expanding, right? Iqbal, I don't know, there must be a news which got published in that time frame, right? And he understood it. And look at the verse he says. Kainat tabhi na tamam hai shayad. This is today's understanding. It just happened just in the 1986. Kainat tabhi na tamam hai shayad ki aa rahi hai damatam sadaye kun fayakun. Universe is expanding. This is just 1980s conclusion, that the people got Nobel Prize on the discovery of this thing. How could Iqbal get that? If you look at Maulana Rumi, I mean, he basically gave the idea of the evolution from the study of the Quran in the 12th century. The Darwin took place, like 18th, 19th century, right? So what did Rumi say in poetry? But I don't know that, but this is what his essence of his saying was. He said that I was first in inorganic things. From there I came to the organic things. And from there I went into the plants. Then from there I went into the animals. Now I am in the human form. And I don't know where I am going from here. Is it not that a basis of whatever Darwin thought? But it means that he studied Quran. Of course, Rumi studied Quran. All his poetry, that's why it's called Second Quran. I can give you a reference myself. I mean, and you can relate that where they must have gotten these hints from the Quran. In the Surah Nuh, which is the, I think, 71st Surah, 17 of its ayah, you're right, it says that we grew man as a plant, as we grow plant. This is the kind of the meaning that it has. You can check it. I mean, I did check it. That's what it says. And then about evolution in Surah Dahr, in the very beginning, it says that there has been a long time, labudnahi time, that in which the man has been very insignificant thing. What does it mean? Some things to think about, right? And the other thing which Iqbal said, which is actually understanding of theory of relativity and the idea of the fusion, fission, fusion, whatever you can call it. हकीकत एक है हर शय की खाकी हो के दूरी हो. हकीकत एक है हर शय की खाकी हो के दूरी हो. Whether it is matter or if it is energy, it is the same thing. This is Einstein's theory of relativity again, right? लहू खुर्शीद का निकले अगर ज़र्रे का दिल चीरे. Right? If you cut a particle, which is basically the nuclear reaction, lahu khurshid ka nikle, the energy of the sun will come out. Right? So a few words on the philosophy of the self, because if you don't talk about the khudi, then of course you cannot say a complete story about the Iqbal. I mean, just I will quickly say that. So what it means, selfhood, I amness. Think that from all the things in this creation, that the human being is the top of the creation. We already kind of proved that, from our understanding. And then when anything you want to see that there is the reality of yourself is really the most closest, very touchable reality for everyone. You don't have to ask anybody else. You can see your I amness, yourself. You see, this is the test, right? I want to see if this bottle is real, right? We may have a dispute. You may think it's not. You have a different point of view. But myself, me, my amness, if it is not real to me, then I don't exist. तेरी निगाह में साबित नहीं खुदा का वजूद, मेरी निगाह में साबित नहीं वजूद तेरा. वजूद क्या है? फकत जौहर खुदी की, नमूद कर अपनी फिक्र के जौहर है बेनमूद तेरा. Right? So the selfhood, I amness, to recognize yourself, your station, your responsibility. That's really who he is. It's not related to pride. It is to recognize who you are. You are a vice regent of God. Build your personality. Acquire the attributes of God. This is from the hadith, I understand. That acquire the attributes of God. Then you can remember, Muhammad bhi tera, Jibreel bhi, Quran bhi tera. Magar ye harf shiri tarjuma tera hai ya mera. It is my depiction in the Quran. All the attributes of God are actually, for the man to understand that these are the attributes that he is supposed to have. There is a hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said that acquire the attributes of God, kindness, mercy, and all the whatever 99. Quwwat-e ishq se har past ko wala kar de, dahr mein isme Muhammad se ajada kar de. Yeah. With the power of love, raise everybody who is low. Make the whole world bright with the name of the Prophet. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. Everybody has heard this. जिंदगानी है सदफ कतराए नेसा है खुदी. वो सदफ क्या जो कतरे को गोहर कर न सके. हो अगर खुद निगर खुद गरो खुदगीर खुदी, ये भी मुमकिन है कि तू मौत से भी बच न सके. जिंदगानी है सदफ कतराए नेसा है खुदी. The life is like an oyster, and the drop of rain which falls in it, which ultimately becomes a pearl, is selfhood, I amness. वो सदफ क्या जो कतरे को गोहर करना से. What value is that oyster which cannot make that drop into a pearl? And if खुद निगर खुद गरो खुदगीर खुदी, if the selfhood is self-watching, self-preserving and self-holding, ये भी मुमकिन है कि तू मौत से भी मर न सके. It is possible that the death may not kill you. Then this is parting, poetry which they say that Allama Iqbal, when he was leaving this world, he said that this is also in Persian. Sarude rafta bazayat ke na ayat. The melody which is gone, it may or may not return. Naseem az Hijaz ayat ke na ayat. The breeze from Hijaz may or may not come. Saramat rozgare in fakire. The days of this fakir have come to an end. Digar danai raz ayat ke na ayat. And other knower of the secret may or may not come. And then he makes a beautiful dua just following this. Agar bhi ayadan danai razi. If the knower of the secret comes, Badebura Navaye Dil Godaze, give him the voice which can penetrate the hearts. This is really, give him the ability to make the poetry which can affect. That's what it means. Badebura Navaye Dil Godaze. Because there are ways of saying that prose cannot have this impact. Only the poetry can have, right? Badebura Navaye Dil Godaze. Zamire ummatara mikunat par. The conscience of the people of the nations is made pure by who? Hakime ya kalime na nawazi. The Hakim, the thinker, or a Kalim, which is like Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Nay Nawazi, which has something to say in the way the poetry of Allama Iqbal is said, or the poetry of the Rumi is said, or the way the Quran is said. Because if you look at the Quran, it's basically style is, more or less poetry. It just looks like prose, but it's not. So I thank you very much for your time and patience, and I hope I was able to make some points